In the 2018 NBA draft, the Phoenix Suns had the chance to do what every team dreams of. Draft a loyal franchise superstar who was also a legitimate generational talent. Luka Doncic was on the board, but the Suns overthought. He was too slow. He couldn't jump high. Back in 2018, he didn't fit the mold of a true NBA superstar. But oh, how things have changed. Number 1 pick DeAndre Ayton, the 43.5 vertical leaping logical choice, has never made an all-star team. Luka was first team All-NBA in his second season. His greatness was immediately undeniable. And because Phoenix made the NBA Finals without Luka, we are left with the biggest of questions. What if we could go back? What if we could erase one of the NBA's biggest mistakes and instead...
The Commissioner Adam Silver just about ready to step to the microphone.
With the first pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the Phoenix Suns select Luka Doncic from Ljubljana, Slovenia and Real Madrid.
And because Luka goes number 1, the top of the 2018 draft breaks down. DeAndre Ayton slides to pick number 2. Sacramento gets a huge upgrade over Marvin Bagley, who Dallas gets fooled by. Yes, the Mavs still trade for pick number 3 because in 2018, Bagley was a freshman first-team All-American at Duke. He looked like a can't-miss elite scorer, only he did miss. And our first storyline emerges as, wow, Dallas should not have traded Trae Young to the Hawks. We can already see the butterfly effect starting to spread right into the 2019 season, where Luka is instantly a one-man highlight reel. His passing is electrifying, and Devin Booker gets more open looks than he's ever seen. Only, even as the two become friends, not rivals, the Suns have an empty roster and win just 21 games. But every contender hates seeing Phoenix on their schedule as Luka and Book are annoying. They push to win every game, and one of the league's best duos begins to rise. Over in Dallas, Mavs fans are going to be joining Knicks fans in chanting F Trae Young, as they quickly realize Marvin Bagley is an absolute bust. The Kings benefit from this though. They win 5 more games, and DeAndre Ayton makes the Rookie of the Year race tight because of his team's record. But the media still loves Luka. Like LeBron in 2004, the trophy goes to the best player, and suddenly all eyes are on the Phoenix Suns. And while the MVP and playoffs stay the same, the 2019 draft is where the butterfly effect gives us a massive change. But quickly, if you do love the what ifs, they take so much time to make, but I'm willing to do 1 a month. I need to know the interest is there though, so if this what if gets 5,000 shares, I will do 1 what if a month for the next year. So send this to someone who would love to watch it end. Because Dallas plummeted in the standings, the Washington Wizards get pick number 1. A generational talent who quickly becomes a generational headache in Zion Williamson. This draft has not aged well. The Pelicans do not get the answer they are looking for in Ja Morant at pick number 2, as his own off-court issues do not magically disappear. Overall, this is just a weird draft lottery. The Grizzlies fall to pick number 10 and take a nice piece in Rui Hachimura. Ja Morant does change the 2019 offseason though, as let's remember, Anthony Davis was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for a package that mainly consisted of Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram. However, the Pels were also good with Kyle Kuzma. They just wanted 2 of those 3 players, and now with Ja Morant on the roster, it makes much more sense that they would push for Kuzma. So Lonzo Ball stays a Laker, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still traded to the Thunder. The Clippers give up a now possible MVP and a ton of picks for Paul George, planting the seeds for a future rivalry between our main character, Luka Doncic, and his soon-to-be enemy, Shai. But for now, let's focus on Luka versus Paul George and the Clippers. In the 2020 season, the Suns are one of the NBA's most exciting teams. In year 2, Luka rises to unstoppable levels, already averaging a near 30-point triple-double, and in a twist of fate, the Suns leap up and directly take the place of the Mavericks against the Clippers in the first round of the 2020 playoffs. Now, in the original playoffs, Dallas pushed Los Angeles to 6 games and Luka starred, but the Mavericks couldn't pull through after Kristaps Porzingis suffered an injury. This time though, Devin Booker and Luka are healthy and they're out for blood. Book scores 35 points to tie this series 2-2. Then in an elimination game 6, Luka rallies around the Phoenix crowd for his first playoff triple-double. And game 7 is a show. One play could decide everything, and so, with 12 seconds left, the game is tied before Kawhi Leonard isos, takes the ball to the basket against Luka and lays it in for a 2-point lead. Phoenix calls timeout and Luka does get the ball, but the Clippers trap him. So Luka makes the right pass, the ball is in Mikal Bridges' hands, he is wide open and with the series on the line.
Crowder, Bridges for 3, won't go, ball knocked out.
A brick. Luka ends this game with 42 points, but he doesn't care. He was that close to a major upset, that close to an already legendary moment, but he's not distressed. A fire instead is lit in him, and the Suns have the NBA looking over their shoulder, completely afraid of what this team is already becoming. The 2020 draft also terrifies the league, because while there are no changes at the top of this draft, at pick number 10,
The Boston Celtics select Tyrese Halliburton from Iowa State University.
Tyrese Halliburton on the Celtics is a perfect addition to complement the scoring of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Boston has a young core that is going to become a problem. And with this pick, the Kings are now forced to take Cole Anthony, which is very interesting because the ripple effect is huge. Now the Orlando Magic take their backup option, who is Tyrese Maxey, a different point guard who of course becomes one of the biggest steals of this draft. And as we see, the draft changes are piling up here, and now trades are changing right along with them. In the offseason, the Suns need a center, not a point guard, so they target Jonas Valanciunas for Kelly Oubre, which means the New York Knicks pull a big win-now move and send picks plus a lot of salary plus Kevin Knox, who still had value at this point in time, for none other than Chris Paul. We have entered, wow, the NBA is going to be completely different territory, and the league is seeing those changes in the 2021 standings. Right away in the 2021 season, Luka finds himself with a temporary challenger for best young player in the league, as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander struggles through a losing year with the Thunder. Zion Williamson explodes onto the scene with his first All-Star appearance and makes the Wizards relevant again. But before the playoffs, Zion still gets injured and Washington loses in the first round to a new challenger led by the resurgence of Chris Paul. With Julius Randle as a nightmare for anyone to guard, the New York Knicks earn the #1 seed in the East, and a new title contender is here. Basketball is back in New York. Chris Paul gets more love than he's ever gotten before, but so does Luka. As on the opposite side of the NBA, the top team in the West emerges as the Phoenix Suns. This year, Luka generates real MVP buzz, most notably after a 55-point masterpiece, but Nikola Jokic does still win this award. Luka, though, does not take this kindly, and that shows in the playoffs. In round 1, Luka proves to everyone that no mistake was made for pick number 1. He scores time and time again at the rim easily versus DeAndre Ayton, and overall, Luka averages 35 points per game in a sweep. Then comes MVP Nikola Jokic, and again, the Suns are just simply better. But this time, it's Devin Booker who averages over 30, while Luka is able to focus more on his playmaking. So even though Jokic is an absolute monster, the Suns win round 2, they win the Western Conference Finals, they are competing for a championship. And in the East, the Bucks and Knicks reach the conference finals, but it's here where Chris Paul still can't get over the hump. Giannis is an unstoppable force, and just like that, we have a Suns-Bucks NBA Finals, just like what happened in real life, but this time with Luka and Valanciunas instead of Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. And while we lose a real-life iconic Giannis block, this series is still full of iconic moments. In Game 5, tied 2-2, down by 1, Giannis gets the ball late and can't make it to the rim, so he throws up a jumper at the buzzer end. A game winner in the finals, wow. But there is no time to celebrate because a blowout in Game 6 sets the stage for an insane Game 7. And And we are zooming into just 30 seconds left where the Suns are up by 2 after a Devin Booker jumper. Again, Milwaukee gives it to Giannis, he isos, and this time Giannis can't connect. Luka puts this away at the free throw line, and the Phoenix Suns have done it. Just 3 seasons into his career, Luka's legacy has changed forever. He has the championship ring he has been dreaming of in real life, but he wants a dynasty, and the Thunder, despite having a terrible year, are about to become real challengers soon. For now though, the 2021 draft is here, and suddenly, the Magic have the 3rd pick and team Tyrese Maxey up with Evan Mobley. Orlando is making some moves. They do lose Jalen Suggs, who goes to the Cavs instead, and Trey Murphy notably ends up with the Pacers. But it's really this offseason that gives us the most drama. Russell Westbrook is a mistake the Lakers just cannot avoid. He still ends up in Los Angeles, but this time for Lonzo Ball, who wasn't traded before. The real big change though, in the original 2021 offseason, DeMar DeRozan was considering the Knicks but ended up on the Bulls. Now, with Chris Paul in the mix, DeRozan senses a real chance to play for a title contender, and New York goes all in. They're pushing to win a championship with a veteran core of Julius Randle, DeMar DeRozan, and Chris Paul. And if someone is going to challenge Phoenix, it's going to come from the East. Because in the 2022 season, the Knicks and Celtics battle it out all year. In New York, DeRozan becomes a fan favorite. He is a bucket, but in Boston, Tyrese Halliburton is breaking out. He throws assist after assist to Jason Tatum, who becomes first-team All-NBA, and Boston earns the #1 seed in the East. And both of these teams make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, but it's here where the New York Knicks come out on top. Chris Paul plays out of his mind. He's trying to rewrite his legacy with his first ring, and while Julius Randle has a nagging quad injury, he sucks it up. He gives New York a 30-piece in a deciding Game 6. The Knicks are in the finals. In the West, the Suns now have that championship confidence that creates an unbeatable aura. They smash past the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, then easily win the first 2 games of the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors. Luka's laughing. He's having a good time. Devin Booker starts to make fun of Steph Curry? We may have a mistake here. Steph responds big time with back-to-back 40-point games to tie this series at 2 games apiece. Phoenix feels this slap in the face. They come back with a 24-point win of their own, but then in Game 6, Klay and Jordan Poole combine for 50 points in a close Warriors victory. This is Luka's story though, and in Game 7, he gets humbled. Steph Curry scores 45 points in an all-time legendary performance, and Phoenix gets sent home in a shocking development. And then Steph just continues his dominance in the NBA Finals. But the city of New York is alive. They believe in this team. They have hope. They have Chris Paul, who disappoints in the finals yet again. The Knicks end up only taking a single finals game against the Warriors as Steph cements his legacy, which is great for him, but Luka is again questioning everything. He still hasn't won an MVP. Jokic took home that award, so Luka goes into the summer frustrated, but things are only getting tougher because the 2022 draft brings us huge changes. The thing is though, if Shea is going to be Luka's rival, he's going to need some help. Not only does Paolo Banchero go #1 to the Detroit Pistons, changing everything there, but with pick #2.
With the 2nd pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Indiana Pacers select Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga University.
Due to all of the changes in standings we've been seeing, the Thunder lose their defensive centerpiece, and even though they do get Keegan Murray at pick #5, the Clippers made the playoffs in our new reality, so Jalen Williams, who was taken with the Clippers pick, now forms an incredibly promising trio with Tyrese Maxey and Evan Mobley in Orlando. Quick last note on this draft, Jalen Duren is a great replacement for Mobley at pick #12 for the Cavs, but the Thunder now need to make a move to get Shea some help. Their young core has evaporated. Sam Presti recognizes this. He decides to pull the trigger and move some of the picks he's gained along with Josh Giddey to the Pacers for Domantas Sabonis. Because remember, because Tyrese Halliburton is now in the Celtics, the Kings couldn't trade for Sabonis, so it's the Thunder who profit. And OKC is now finally a threat. They actually have a breakout year with 51 wins while earning the 3rd seed in the West, as in real life, Chet sat out with an injury, but now Sabonis is an all-star and this roster is moving. Shai has emerged as an MVP caliber player. The Thunder still have picks to make future trades. They are a real threat to Luka and the Suns, which means the Suns make the same move as they did in real life. A huge blockbuster trade for Kevin Durant that shakes the NBA to its core. Because now Kevin Durant is not joining an undermanned team. He's joining a title contender with Luka. And let's remember, when the Nets traded away their core, Kyrie Irving was moved to Dallas, but the Mavericks still have Jalen Brunson. They didn't let him walk with Luka not on the roster, which means Kyrie has to go somewhere else. And the Los Angeles Lakers decided they can't sit on their hands. So Los Angeles takes what was seen as a risk at the time and bring in Kyrie Irving, teaming him back up with LeBron as the media goes crazy. Can they fit back together? Will there be drama? The answer, no. At least not right away. The Lakers with Kyrie, LeBron, and Anthony Davis take down the defending champion Golden State Warriors. Then their second round series against the Suns is the stuff fans dream of. Phoenix is still getting used to the addition of Kevin Durant. LeBron plays absolutely out of his mind, and Luka gets almost humbled again. This time Phoenix does pull it out and takes home a Game 7 win. At least for now, they're safe, but the Thunder are a real threat. Shai and Sabonis are cooking, but Jokic is just too good here. So the Western Conference Finals is a Suns vs Nuggets bloodbath, but the Suns rewrite history. They bounce past the Denver Nuggets, they make another NBA Finals, and Luka gets the award he's been waiting for. This year's MVP does not go to Joel Embiid. Instead, it is lifted up by none other than Luka Doncic. But in the finals, a new challenger emerges. The Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference have become a near super team. We knew this was building, but wow, how things have changed. Boston wins 65 games in the regular season as an efficient machine. They make a lot of threes. They play great defense, and they dismantle everyone on the way to an Eastern Conference championship. And while fans rip Jason Tatum for emulating Kobe Bryant a bit too much in the finals, Tatum begins to come through in the final series. He scores 34 points in Game 2. He scores another 31 in Game 5, and Boston takes a 3-2 series lead. Phoenix is in a danger zone, and that is when Devin Booker has the worst game of his life, shooting 2 for 14 from the field, and even behind a 37-point game from Kevin Durant. The Suns lose yet again as the Boston Celtics hold up the Larry O.B. Their new big three of Tyrese Halliburton, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum will be a problem for years to come. And at this point in his life, Luka does have a ring. He now has an MVP, but even though he is on the cusp of greatness, he knows this is not enough yet. The answer to Luka's problems, though, will not come in the form of the 2023 draft. For the first time in a while, the power balance in the NBA doesn't really change here. Wemby is still a Spur, Scoot Henderson does become a Wizard, and Zion doesn't call him to welcome him to the team. The real biggest thing in this offseason is that the Suns do not trade for Bradley Beal because they don't need him with Luka. So in reality, it's kind of a slow offseason because the 2024 offseason is about to be insane. And we'll get there somewhat quickly because the 2024 season really comes down to the Boston Celtics are still kings in the East, although the Magic with Tyrese Maxey, Evan Mobley, and Jalen Williams are emerging. That is our Eastern Conference Finals matchup, but Boston is just too much. In the West, though, the Thunder have become real threats, and the 2024 Western Conference Finals between the Thunder and the Suns is a show. In Game 1, Shai takes it to Luka, putting up 42 points with 8 assists as Oklahoma City steals home court advantage, and from there, the team's trade wins, which means it all comes down to a Game 7, and suddenly, it's Luka's playmaking that becomes the story. He starts off the first quarter with 8 assists, 4 to Kevin Durant alone, and Kevin Durant works to rewrite his own legacy. The Thunder were the team he could never win a title with, but he can take them down on the way to another title of his own. And at the very least, he does that in the Western Conference Finals, leading the Suns to a Game 7 win with a 40 bomb. So it's the Celtics and the Suns for a championship yet again, and Luka has entered a new era. In Game 1, 34-point triple-double, Suns win. Game 2, 27-point triple-double, Suns win. Game 3, 47 points from Luka, Suns win. Boston is in shock, but without Drew Holiday now, the Celtics struggle to guard Luka as Tyrese Haliburton has to guard someone on this roster, and Phoenix takes advantage. But Boston fights. They avoid the ultimate embarrassment in Game 4. Haliburton has 25 points and 15 assists to somewhat make up for his defensive shortcomings. And then in Game 5, we have more of the same. The Suns continue to dominate. Devin Booker redeems himself as he leads Phoenix in scoring, and Luka wins Finals MVP to go along with the regular season MVP as well. Jokic had a monster year. He was a well-deserving winner, but Luka gets the nod as the Suns won 68 games in the regular season, tipping the scales to him. So now, headed into our final season, we're left with just one more question. Can Phoenix lock in a dynasty, and can Luka Doncic enter the young GOAT race by collecting even more hardware? And so now we are walking onto the court in the 2025 Western Conference Finals, where it's going to be tough. Phoenix has developed a reputation of a potential dynasty in progress with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Luka Doncic, but their window is closing as Kevin Durant gets older and older. What's worse, to end the season, KD goes down with an ankle injury and is forced to sit the entire first round of the playoffs. But the Suns prove to be fine. Luka and Book have enough talent to carry, and so it is the Phoenix Suns who face off against the Oklahoma City Thunder for a chance at the 2025 NBA Finals. But suddenly, the Thunder have a lot more help. Because in the 2024 offseason, Sam Presti knew he needed to make a move, and without Jalen Williams on this roster, OKC had a need for more scoring. It has since been reported in real life that the Warriors could have acquired Lauri Markkanen from the Jazz if they were willing to pay the price at the time, but Draymond Green shut down that trade, saying it wasn't the right move. The Thunder do not shut down this deal. They're willing to include Keegan Murray and a bunch of picks for Lauri, and now the Oklahoma City Thunder are a dangerous, unstoppable offensive force. And they in fact lead the NBA in wins in the 2025 season, which means they're the top seed in the West, and in Game 1, Lauri Markkanen connects on 6 threes and OKC takes the win. But with his own legacy on the line, Kevin Durant proves he's ready to play. Luka and Devin Booker struggle a bit with their shots in Games 2 and 3, but Kevin Durant first scores 35 points and then gives us 40 in back-to-back games, and the Suns are up 2-1 in this series. The teams trade wins, and now Phoenix has a chance to clinch this at home, and with 30 seconds left, down by 1, Luka spots up for a 3 that connects. He gives Phoenix a 2-point lead, and so now, series on the line. For years, Shea has been waiting for this chance. He's been waiting for the opportunity to get revenge over his biggest rival. The Thunder give him the ball, and the refs stay silent on what could have been considered a foul. NBA Twitter lights up, but the only thing that truly matters is that Luka has taken down his rival again. He and the Phoenix Suns have survived a Thunder team that was built to beat them, and now in the NBA Finals, Phoenix is matched up against the Orlando Magic. Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Williams, and Evan Mobley proved to be a good enough big three to have an Indiana Pacers type surprise run, and because Jason Tatum does still get injured in these playoffs, it is Orlando who shines through. Orlando is hot, and they have all of the confidence in the world, but the Suns are experienced. In Game 1 of the 2025 Finals, Luka gives us 28 points, 14 assists, and 12 rebounds, making this a blowout. The Magic are slapped back into reality, and Phoenix also takes Game 2, but Orlando battles back. They win Game 3 as Tyrese Maxey explodes for 38 points and 7 assists, and they have hope, but maybe they shouldn't, because the Suns just cruise. They are just too good, and the real finals actually took place 1 round ago. Because just like that, we have another Luka Doncic championship, securing his place in history even more. And while in 2025, Nikola Jokic is actually named the MVP over Shea as voter fatigue for Jokic has not yet kicked in, we are still living in a world where Luka has 2 MVPs, 2 championships, and is still just 26 years old. The Celtics, if they can remain healthy, now have a budding super team of their own. The Magic have taken a leap in a ripple we never saw coming, and the Thunder have still managed to build a consistent contender even without 2 of their biggest original pieces. But as for Luka Doncic, taken number 1 overall, Luka didn't just step into true greatness. He changed the entire landscape of the NBA, showing us that one decision doesn't just change one player. It doesn't just change one team. Sometimes One pick changes how NBA history itself is written. And in this world, Phoenix did not miss their own chance at greatness. Instead, they started a dynasty.